let's move on to the last point of your research, metaverse of NFTs. You guys talk about NFTs, of course. NFTs are still a big thing. And of course, the metaverse, Zuckerberg, Facebook, the metaverse tokens today, when I was just looking at my phone, Mbox and Sand and Gala and all these things are all going up in price. Tell us about that. What's your take on all of this?
Let's start from the beginning. So basically, by definition, the metaverse is a virtual reality space in which users can interact with each other in a computer-generated environment. There's a widespread misconception that Facebook created the metaverse, and anything related to the metaverse will be controlled by Facebook. I would argue that Facebook is actually a bit late to the party. I think it resorted to being Meta or whatever just to get out of the series of scandals it's been involved with recently. It's a great public stunt, but I don't think it's going to survive for long. Facebook had a fundamental role in how social media is right now, and I give it that, and the power of information. And I believe that this weapon has turned against them in terms of leaks and the community backlash on the company. You can tell how much I hate Facebook. I actually spend a lot of time on the app and on Instagram and on WhatsApp. You remember last month when this big shutdown happened? It gave me a lot of anxiety. I felt alone. I remember I was in a coastal town in Red Sea, and my friends were like, "Just be chill. No one has access. What's wrong with you?" And that's when I realized I have serious Facebook addiction. Yeah, but anyhow. So with all that being said, Facebook steps is still it's still good news for DeFi, crypto, NFTs. They're all hanging out in the metaverse anyway. So big definition, it's a good for the crypto sphere. You have to give them that. It's even better news for for creators who have found all the interest of jobs and eventually homes, and those who are lucky at their income tab due to the pandemic, aftermath, and recession. Inflation. What is about Facebook or Meta is this monopoly direction that they're just not being like people, we're going to be fish. And by owning Oculus, of course, it does have an advantage. But I'm hopeful that the community will not succumb to the status quo and offer other better alternatives that would appeal to the masses, the same people that are on Facebook, and especially those who are not really fans of how Facebook is coping with things, especially with privacy scandals and being super commercial people like me. So I really have faith in the crypto community and the tech community to give us an alternative that we can all resort to rather than sticking to one big player and to the atrocities of capitalism.
I totally agree with everything you said. I think, especially from a virtual reality perspective, Oculus is great, but with the Oculus version 2, when they said, hey, if you want to buy this very cheap VR headset, you have to use your Facebook account. And that turned off a lot of techie people.
And they just released something to, and Oculus users now can use their gadgets without the Facebook login.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you respond it to the masses and listen to the people like the true dictator he is. I can tell you, they're slowly playing cool and acting good cop for now. We'll see how this lasts. We'll see how this lasts with the people. I don't think it's.
Do you think, this is not a crypto question, but do you think with Facebook changing their name to Meta, in 5 years, people will forget about the name Facebook and it'll just be Meta everything, and all that sort of negative branding association will be lost, or the majority of it will be lost because now Facebook no longer exists and it's just Meta this and Meta that?
Yeah, it really depends on the effort they put. That's a normal PR way to think about it, because you can really underestimate being naggy and putting Meta everywhere around you. Review that. So if they put in the effort, and I don't want to give them ideas, put in the effort and put Meta everywhere, it will happen in less than 5 years. Believe me, maybe in a month or two.
Wow,
I've seen this happen with several. I can be a bit exaggerating, but we've seen this happen with Facebook is a lot bigger, but we've seen this happen with company here in Egypt, like a phone operator, and then Orange bought it. Now I think I'm the only person who says Mobile anymore.
Oh
It's
no.
Orange. And whenever I say Mobile now, and that's only been like few years, and whenever I say Mobile now, people correct me, Orange. So yeah, so I think with like a bigger scale as like Facebook and like as a global scale, I think they do a good job like imposing their identity on people's mindsets. I think it will change.
Very cool.
If they want to be like a part of a big player in the metaverse, I think they didn't need to be creative, and Meta was a great way to start because I'm telling you this because I was once with my friends and they were talking about the metaverse, and then they were synonymizing the metaverse with Facebook, and I was like, and they were so against the metaverse. And then I was wondering why are they so against the metaverse, and then they were like, because Facebook. Oh, yeah, but the metaverse isn't Facebook. We're like, oh no, we're talking about Facebook. That's how it is because yeah, branding. Branding is strong. If you do it right, you will get it.